Hello precious people, how are you? Happy Wednesday. I can't believe it's already Wednesday again, the time's flying by. So we're coming live today for part 6 of the Our World, What Comes Next read along. So what we're going to be doing today, this live today probably won't be as long as the previous read alongs have been, because today we're just going to be looking at the final section of the book, which is called Start to Do. And that is the final section of the book, and then after that comes a workbook. So what we might well do after today's read along is perhaps come live and do different exercises with you, because there's 10 different exercises in the back. So we might start cherry picking some of those and doing them with you. Of course, we have been doing some exercises and practices through the Domain TV episodes as well. So if you haven't watched those yet, you can watch all of those at sarahmorganglobal.com under the Domain TV tab in the menu. And so you can watch all of those there. And of course, there's so many opportunities that are going to be upcoming for you to practice using Domain and exploring Domain, whether it's through the School of Domain Energetics, or whether it's just from practicing using this book, or even if you're coming to the event next August. So there's just so much good to come. And as we always say, delight in Domain, that's what it's all about. So we're going to read through this section today, and then we will see what unfolds from there. So as ever, thank you for those of you that are watching this live or on replay, and we hope you're really enjoying the magic that Domain is starting to open up in your world. So let me go to page 234 and get started. Okay, so start to do. And it's time to recognise you. Okay, so us humans, we are amazing. We really are. We may not always see eye to eye. We may have fought and warred and argued and conflicted, but we have always tried to do our best from what we believe to be right. But times are truly changing now. As more and more of us ignite our energetic side fully, in addition to our physical side, thus becoming all that we are truly meant to be, so too we move to 100% high vibration and love. We can only fully work with our energetic side and to Domain when we are in the energy of love. So as this love builds over the coming years and decades, witness the change that is here and ensues. The tidal wave that carries more and more of us to love and only builds in velocity. As we each start with us, and then those that we love, and then those beyond. Love wins. And so yes, we want to rebalance, rectify and remedy our negative imprints here, but we have done amazingly and are amazing to have reached this point in our evolution. Now we can work with energetics and take them forward at a phenomenal pace. We have worked and strived over the centuries to reach this point, and now we arrive here. Time to be ever more amazing. Time to take Domain into our everyday. Time to be loving, time to accelerate in perfect harmony, time to come together and collaborate, time to celebrate. And so when you see that things aren't yet perfect, know that now we are headed towards peace and beauty and utopias on this planet. Know that we have made it here. Know that humans are extraordinary, and most of all, know that you are amazing. Our world is beautiful. Together we will. Coming together is what Domain and our future is about. Just in this last year, whilst helping the first group of humans to fully energise with Domain, I have witnessed firsthand the possibilities with Domain, how they supersize when we work together, incorporating and embracing all of our specialties and areas of expertise. Domain is so vast that it would simply not be possible for one person to do it all. If you think that Domain is full of endless possibilities and sequences, the more that we come together and work with Domain, the more that we can receive, utilise, create, change and bring. This is another reason why this book serves as an introduction. It is our aspiration that many will read this and that over the coming years, Domain will become more and more known. But its uninhibited power comes when us humans work with Domain in collaboration, shining brightly and uniquely in what we can each do with it. What is true is that every physical human, when they fully enact and embrace their energetic side, is full of unique energy and energetic capabilities that will help them achieve the very most that they can in their lifetime and beyond with Domain. And it is about us each embracing our own unique and individual energetic setups and celebrating them and bringing them all together. I had an interesting moment with Domain where I was reflecting on the fact that so much of what can drive us is trying to be the best at something. It could be the winner of a cookery show, it could be attaining a world record as an athlete, it could be achieving the highest grades and qualifications. But what if there is no best person with Domain? What if everyone working with Domain is simply and beautifully the best that they can be in their own right? We are all on our own journeys on this earth, living out our physical human lives. And so what if through Domain we can now start to allow ourselves to showcase that very best that we can each be ourselves individually with it, everyone being their own best. Domain encourages the bringing together of diverse and loving energies, no two people exactly the same. This cannot be anyway, as we have now come to understand with sequencing. Even identical twins are unique and individual. Together we can each showcase the best of ourselves, knowing that we will always be progressing and learning more within our own versions of best, for this is actually the very nature of life and expansion. But if we can come together and each know that we are bringing through our very own best with Domain, with no competition or rivalry with one another, this is when our earth will really take off in terms of new possibilities and solutions. Domain creates new possibilities for humans and earth and all that is a part of it. Together, this is where we shall thrive. What a loving and exciting notion, following long eras of divisiveness, some still occurring now, but now we can know that together is where we are headed more and more every day. It cannot be otherwise, for this is where we are at in our evolution as humans, and evolution continues and ensues no matter what. So again, we invite you, if it feels good to you and it lights you up, to come and join our incredible and ever-building community of physical humans who are leading, paving and shaping the way with Domain. There is always room for more. We need you and your unique energetics and specialties. Know that this book has not found its way to you, nor have you found your way to this book by chance. Our Earth, Universe, Multiverse and all there is far more sophisticated than that, and we know that you really and truly can feel the truth of this now. You have this book in your hands because when you were pre-physical, you wanted to make sure that you had the opportunity to energise and work with Domain at this beautiful, pivotal and crucial time whilst you were living and breathing physically on this planet. For never again will you have this opportunity in this way and at this time beyond this physical lifetime of yours. So whether you want to use Domain for you or the wider planet or even beyond, come and be with us, as it is in our togetherness that you and we will fly. A world truly coming together finally has become. Let yourself smile broadly from ear to ear. It's time to thrive. Thrive Projects Africa. I've spoken of Thrive Projects Africa and how for me personally through my own work with Domain, I really want this to be one of my focuses. It's how I chose it in pre-physical and it's still something I utterly choose now. As well as masterclasses around day-to-day and personal use of Domain, a huge focus at Sarah Morgan Global will be the progression of Thrive Projects Africa. If you are someone who has always felt drawn to Africa, whether you have physically been there or not, it's highly likely that it is because you have also got a deep connection to and potential with Domain, specifically for this miraculous original continent. Those who have who have a particularly strong love for Africa, who have felt a call to help rebalance it in any way, will be able to take Domain and run with it in incredible ways if you so choose. So if the prospect of joining the Building Thrive Projects Africa community feels like starlight to you, come and join us. You can learn more about how we will help you to prepare and develop your energy so that you can powerfully get involved at sarahmorganglobal.com. For those that feel the call, Africa awaits. An introduction to your higher self. Before we move on to the exciting and important chapter which talks about how to start receiving from Domain so that you can use it and benefit from it directly yourself, now is the right moment to introduce you to your higher self. You may or may not already know that you have a higher self. If not, then your higher self is so anticipatory of you reading this chapter. I'm going to share my own experience of uncovering my higher self, just in the same way that I have shared my own experiences with Domain throughout this book. Because I was made consciously aware that I had a higher self, there were moments before I was made consciously aware that I had a higher self. There were moments in my life where I had strong instincts about things or where I felt a strong steering towards something. In these moments that I was feeling my higher self, although I did not realise it at the time. Virtually everyone reading this will be able to recall and identify with similar moments during their own lifetime to date too. I was then introduced to my higher self a few years ago, and as I was developing my receiving and increasing my high vibration, I worked with her very closely. She was a critical part of my journey and she helped me to get where I am today. Likewise, you too have a higher self. Every physical human does. And so to get to feel and know them is a wondrous thing that can bring so much into your day-to-day. When I first dabbled in domain a few years ago, and as I was practicing my receiving, my higher self, whose name is Sarah, was like the middlewoman. She was always like the translator. If I were to receive information from a non-physical guide, such as Nelson, or from domain itself, Sarah was the conduit for me. Higher selves are not always understood in this way. Often we can receive non-physical energy in moments, but sidestep the understanding that our higher self is acting as the conduit in the early days. For anyone that is starting their receiving journey, and in particular with domain, just know that your higher self is right there with you, supporting and helping you, as indeed they are with all aspects of your life. And who is your higher self? What actually is a higher self? Your higher self is the non-physical extension of you, and you are the physical extension of them. You never ever came into this earth on your own, and to know this truth is so comforting and reassuring. As you energetically expand throughout your life, and now too with domain, so do they. Plus they have been around for a very long time, so they have so much guidance and expertise that they can flow to you to help you in all areas of your life. You don't have to see them, you may just very subtly feel them or even receive signs from them. Sarah, for example, tends to send me rainbows, even in spectrums refracting through glass or onto a wall. And so as you progress on to the next chapter about starting to receive from domain, we encourage you to love and acknowledge the fact that your precious higher self will be there with you, supporting and helping you as you begin. How loving, how wondrous. And then over time, as your energy expands more and more, you will start to receive from your own central energy more. And although your higher self will remain around, if this is wanted by you, you will no longer be reliant on them and being a conduit. But in the early days, to know that your higher self is with you will be really helpful and also so beautiful for you to experience. They are only loving, as indeed all non-physical energy is. They will not impose themselves upon you if it is not wanted by you, or if you don't feel ready. But just this introduction to the fact that you have a higher self could be a door that opens up such a beautiful relationship with your own higher self should you choose it. So just know that they are there, loving you and helping, and allow yourself to feel the wonder and magic of this precious knowing and relationship. So much can be written about the higher self, but for the purpose of this book, we simply wanted to bring you an introduction to and awareness of them. This is something that can and will naturally develop for you over time if it is wanted by you. They have always been with you since birth, and they have helped to ready you for this physical life. In fact, you would have worked and associated extremely closely with them in non-physical before starting your physical life here. Every higher self knows a domain, and your higher self knew that you would discover it at the right time for you, and so you can visualize and imagine them now smiling and even doing a happy dance as you read this. For right now, not all are as lucky as we are to know that they have a higher self, and of course to discover domain. We know this will change over time, but right now feel the magical truth that you now know something so precious about you and your energy. Your higher self is excited to help you re-familiarise with domain now, as you were familiar with it when you were in non-physical before this physical life of yours. You may see your higher self in your mind's eye, or you may see colours, or you might feel them. I always feel goosebumps from Sarah if she is confirming that confirming something that I have received is correct. For example, or you may hear them or just have a knowing that they are around. Everyone receives their higher self differently. There is no one way better than another. It is just whichever way is best for you. But start to trust that they are with you and aiding and supporting you for as long and as much as you would like them to be. Feeling, knowing, seeing or hearing them with you as you work with domain in the early days will really help you. And there is an exercise to help you connect with them in the workbook section coming up soon. But first, the next chapter will serve as a bit of an energetic warm-up towards that for you. You are so much more than just your physical parts, and this magic and wonder is so exciting to uncover. How to start to receive from domain. This is something virtually every reader will be asking, we hope. If you have made it all the way up to this point in this book and the prospect of domain still excites you and lights you up, now we can start to help you to tune to it more, and to open up further your energetic side. How exciting. And before we go any further, know that you absolutely can develop your energetic side and also your energetic receiving. Any person who is willing and wanting to can. It might take some practice, but you have this chapter and then the upcoming workbook section, and then also the School of Domain Energetics to support you. My own receiving journey took me many years, as I shared in the preface of this book, but that does not need to be the case for you. To be able to receive accurately and clearly ultimately comes down to becoming 100% high vibration, awakening, evolving and advancing your energy. Many will have awakened naturally as a part and parcel of just reading this book, such as the power of the domain energetics within these pages, and others will do so very soon as they start to develop themselves with domain, either independently or through the School of Domain Energetics. What is great news for you to know, though, is that what took me many years when it came to receiving, I can now help people achieve much more rapidly and in many cases instantaneously. Sarah Morgan Global and its School of Domain Energetics will be a huge facilitator in this. Given that it took me personally so long to develop and feel confident in my receiving skills, I want to shortcut and bypass as much of that journey as I can for everyone else, for it need not be such a long and drawn out process for you. And so by leveraging my own energy, those that want to come and be a part of the School of Domain Energetics in any guise, be it by taking part in a masterclass or online event, or by undertaking a more specialised Thrive Projects Africa diploma, for example, will be able to far more rapidly develop assured precision with receiving. Consider it this way, my own energy had to be deeply exercised over a much longer period of time to bring it to a point where I can now anchor all who work with me to achieve leading edge receiving almost instantaneously when they trust and allow and are fully open. This is why this book serves as an introduction to the possibilities that lie within domain. But the power is in the actual doing, and the speed that my own energy can ignite in you for receiving from domain and myriad whilst we work together will be assured. And so you can feel safety and relief in this, especially if you are someone that just wants to get cracking. And you will be able to check in with me if you come and join us to get reassurance and confirmation from me to build your confidence rapidly, as you will want to practice and then feel assured yourself if you want to help lead the way with domain. I'm always very loving and there is nothing to be nervous of. Consider that whenever you work with me in any guise, the time with me will be loving and supportive, equipping you fully on the receiving front, as receiving is a journey that will always give you more, and that is a truly beautiful thing. I learn new things about domain myself continuously. I think the subject of receiving is such an interesting and actually important one. Why do we have to be 100% high vibration to start with? Put very simply but accurately, because when you are, you don't mistranslate. You might misinterpret, but if you do, you'll feel it. You'll feel that discord and that something isn't quite right, and then you can re-ask and clarify until what you have attained feels bang on. To receive from domain, and indeed any non-physical energy or entity, can take some time to trust also, especially if you are anything like myself. I often used to think, no, am I making this up? But the more I practiced, the more I knew when what I was seeing was true. You see, you will feel it. You'll feel it in your truth vortex just below your tummy button. You'll feel it go yes in that moment if it is correct, even if afterwards you then question it again. At times when you are receiving correctly, it can move you to tears of love. Why? Because again, you can feel and are connected to truth. Other times you can keep receiving the same thing over and over, and when something keeps coming to you in this way, you can also know that you can trust your receiving. On other occasions, you will know you are receiving correctly when you have an eye-widening or jaw-dropping moment. I've had many of these where I'm like, what? No way. Wow. Oh gosh, this is massive. In addition, anyone who works with me, whenever they do so, will have their vibration supported, and in all cases, their high vibration taken to 100% rapidly, so you can relax much more around this and trust that if you are feeling, hearing, seeing, knowing or understanding with domain, that you are doing so correctly. It might be that I can then give you a bit more help to guide you to piece more together, but you can trust what you receive. For anyone like me who wants to receive bang on, this energetic setup within all courses and programs from me will be hugely reassuring and save you so much time. It will literally shave years off of your own receiving journey. It is so important that those who are bringing through leading edge new sequencing and solutions and possibilities with domain are feeling 100% nail on head with what they receive, and I will help to bring you to this point. For we who work with domain have a responsibility to share correctly and accurately based on what domain and myriad and the immediate domain non-physical team, Nelson Mandela, God and Sali, bring us and show us. In the future, when all humans are high vibration and awakened and advanced in this way, all will receive clearly. But right now, the energetics around all programs by me with domain will facilitate and ensure clear receiving for you from the off. After all, there's no time to waste, and why take as long as I did when you need not? So just know that you will and can become a powerhouse for domain receiving just like me, but far more easily and quickly. If you want to have a practice now though, even if you aren't yet 100% high vibration, the following steps will help, and know that as you move through these steps, the energy sequencing within this book will be helping you to boost your receiving for you. The School of Domain Energetics will absolutely enhance, propel and excel your own journey with domain, but right now the exercise below and the upcoming workbook section can serve as a great energetic warm-up and place for you to begin. When you're feeling ready to have a go at your first connection to domain, have a read of the remainder of this chapter first before you begin. It will take you through certain steps to follow and also some helpful tips. After you have read the remainder of this chapter in its entirety, you can come back to the steps below and work your way through them. This will give you the best footing to start, you see. So part 1, your first connection to domain. Try connecting to domain when you are feeling really balanced and aligned and relaxed, with no tension in your body, just feeling peace but still alert and awake enough. Sitting upright with your back straight helps to receive with focus. If your energy doesn't feel in this place, hold off doing this exercise until it does, but as and when it does, move on to step 2 below. You might like to close your eyes if it helps you to focus, but you don't have to. Just go with what feels best to you. Set the intention to leverage the energy from this book to help you. Then set the intention to connect to domain, almost feeling like you are energetically going to it, so your non-physical energy going to it whilst your physical body stays put here. You can also take your higher self energetically by the hand too when you go to domain. Just feel or visualise yourself taking their hand as they go with you to domain. This is how I did it the first few times. You can even imagine that you are taking me energetically by the hand too, if you prefer, because although my physical body can only be in one physical place at any one time, my non-physical energy can be in many, as is the case for us all. Feel, sense, see or hear. Your own way of receiving will become clear to you when you do this. So feel, sense, see or hear domain around you. How does it feel, sound, look? What do you come to know and understand about it? Just really let yourself experience whatever it is that you experience whilst your non-physical energy is surrounded by domain's non-physical energy. You're not here to gather sequencing at this stage. You're here simply to notice that you personally, or notice what you personally experience about domain's energy. Don't rush, really take your time and enjoy. What you receive might be quick, or it might take some time to translate with you. Either is fine, neither is right or wrong. For me, it's usually the latter. It normally takes some time for what is coming through to percolate and become clearer in my mind's eye, for me to then translate and understand more. Record, write and or draw in the blank space below and on the next 2 pages what happened, so that you can always treasure this first experience. Trust whatever you receive, even if it felt vague or momentary, and relax, because you will be able to practice this again, supported by the energetics of this book in the upcoming workbook section. This is not your only chance. So really just allowing yourself to go to domain and just feel its energy is such a powerful place to begin. And it's beautiful. Every time I do it, still today, whenever I connect to domain in that way, I just feel so delicious. So it's such a beautiful place to start. And in the book, you've got sections to record what you experienced. But then there's also part 2 of this exercise, which is if you're not feeling drained, or you shouldn't be feeling drained from exercise 1, but if you're, say, doing it at the end of the day and you're a bit tired and you feel like actually you're going to hold fire on part 2, you can come back to part 2 whenever you like. But if you do want to go on to part 2, if you don't feel tired from part 1, you can. But just check in with how your energy feels and with what feels best to you. You can always come back to part 2 at a later date. And again, if you have not already, read through the whole of this chapter first before you begin to work through the steps, as this will help you to have the maximum opportunity of receiving well when you do this second part of the exercise. So step 1, try connecting to domain when you are feeling really balanced and aligned and relaxed with no tension in your body. Just feeling peace, but still alert and awake enough. Sitting upright with your back up straight helps to receive with focus. If your energy doesn't feel in this place, hold off doing this exercise until it does, but as and when it does, move on to step 2 below. Set the intention to leverage the energy from this book to help you. You can close your eyes or keep them open. Once you're really connected to and settled within the energy of domain, you can now try asking domain for sequencing to help you personally with something important to you. It is a great way to start, okay? And it's great to start with you rather than going global and planetary right away. Make sure that you have conviction when you ask, and that you are open and willing to believe. Be patient here, as you may be given something quickly or it might take time to become clear. Stay open and relaxed, but focus. Once you are shown the sequencing source and it feels right and true to you and correct and clear, you will know it is receiving and not your imagination. Your energy will then naturally move through the gathering of that sequencing, and then it will direct to where to create and put it, e.g. a location on your body. You can record your experience and what you discovered below and on the next page. Your energy definitely needs to feel in a good place in order for you to do this correctly, but just like in exercise 1, this is not your only shot. You will be able to practice this again in the workbook section. If you have done part 2 correctly, you'll feel a great sense of satisfaction and also some excitement and uplift your energy. This is the domain circle of love flowing back to you. You will always know when you have had an on point and accurate session with domain, as you will feel this. And if you don't, you can always come back and try these exercises another time following the same steps. Over time, you will start to know when your energy is correct to receive from domain and when it is not. When it is not, you have not failed, and you need not panic that you're losing your touch. It is simply that your energy won't have been in the right place just in that moment, and you can always come back and try again another time. In fact, at the time of writing this, Monday the 29th of April 2024, it was only last Thursday the 25th of April 2024 when I sat down and tried to receive, but was a bit warpy, unclear and waffly, and I did not get that nail on head feeling. Satisfaction and circle of love back afterwards, so I know that my energy wasn't quite where it needed to be. At the end of the day, we're all human and our own receiving energy can ebb and flow, and this is okay. But when it flows, boy oh boy, domain feels and is amazing. Just following these steps a few times and practicing in this way will start to open up and initiate domain and myriad receiving for you. And remember that myriad works hand in hand with domain. You really don't need to worry at this stage which is myriad and which is domain. Just know and trust that myriad will be there and working for and with you. And know that when you are being shown some place to take sequencing from, this is myriad supporting domain. These steps as you follow them, and always when you follow them, will be supported because of the energy sequences in this book. If it doesn't come easily and quickly right away, just be patient and allowing. Don't get frustrated, as that always stops receiving from flowing. And the thing is, it's not that I'm just ending the book here and leaving you to it. There's a lot of support at Sarah Morgan Global, including masterclasses and tutorials on the very subject of receiving. But these steps that I've just taken you through are a wonderful way to ease yourself in and can be very powerful for you. They can be a great way to begin a wondrous lifetime of receiving. I always felt and knew deep down that there was much, much more out there than is immediately available to us. And that is what I love about domain. It lifts the lid on that to you. It takes you to new insights and understandings about our Earth even that we don't know, let alone the broader multiverse or backwards in time in history. It's just always such a delight when you're doing it in the right energy. And so to practice these 2 steps of these exercises when your energy's in the right place is such a powerful place to start, and we'd love to hear how you go. You can always share back and comment below to us. So, the School of Domain Energetics. We have referenced the School of Domain Energetics often throughout our world, What Comes Next. But we want to dedicate some exclusive space to this here in this chapter for you to also digest and consider as we now head towards the end of this book. If you would really like to specialise in domain energetics and become really powerful as quickly as you can with them in order to take domain to its maximum advantage for you in your physical lifetime, the School of Domain Energetics will always be there for you, offering both live and self-study content. You might choose to, for example, attend an online receiving workshop that you will always be able to energetically hook back into and use the energy of to help you receive confidently and adeptly. You might want to undertake a Thrive Projects Africa diploma with myself and the incredible Domain non-physical team in the future. There will be frequent workshops, talks, Q&As, events, masterclasses and courses also on offer over time to help to equip you in whichever way feels best to you and is wanted by you when it comes to how you choose to work with Domain. No offering from the School of Domain Energetics is obligatory. That would never be the case anyway, as Domain is all about accelerated freedom and therefore choice. You can pick and choose what you might want to attend and participate in. Plus, there will always be new content offered. The best way to keep abreast of all things that are offered through this pioneering school is by joining the School of Domain Energetics mailing list at Sarah Morgan Global here. And you'll see on my website, there's a community tab in the menu, and that's where you will be able to join the mailing list. And once you have enrolled onto this mailing list, consider yourself very much within the Domain Circle of Love, which is a very wonderful place to be. You will be able to look forward to the news, updates and progress that will be shared with you as I'm guided by the Domain non-physical team. And they and myself will always be tuned to what it is that the School of the Domain Energetics community is collectively seeking and wanting, so that we can create offerings accordingly for everyone. And all who undertake any interaction through this pioneering school, and by this we mean participating in at least one of any of the school's offerings, will then also be invited to become a member of the very special Facebook community called Pathway to Thrive, hosted by myself. This Facebook community will be the space where every single person that has proactively worked with Domain and Acceler energies in any guise whatsoever will gather. To be a part of a bespoke community of amazing humans who are 100% high vibration is a very special thing indeed. One day it will be the norm, but right now this is a leading edge coming together of incredible individuals. This group truly will be a loving and innovative coming together of souls who are using Domain in the best way for them, and who are, in doing so, part of the important early adopters and users of Domain on Earth. So if you're wanting to use Domain and its extraordinary energetics in your life, and wanting to take your energy to its maximum potential with them as rapidly as possible, while spending time with myself and others in the community, I look forward to warmly welcoming you to both the School of Domain Energetics and Pathway to Thrive. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me through any of my social media platforms and website. Pioneering Domain together, what an utterly exhilarating way to live. And so, thank you for being here at this time. Thank you for reading this book, which is really just a very early introduction into the possibilities that lie within Domain and what it can do. We are sure that you will have more questions, and we will always endeavour to answer them. And so our last words on these pages are, you know where we are, and so if you want to, do come and find us. Hope, belief and love are all that you need. This is where I started, and others who have since found and worked with Domain started also. With those three things, everything else will follow. It is with so much gratitude to you that we end this book, and it is with so much love and anticipation that we hope you will come, find and join us at the time that feels great and right to you. Domain is now here, it always will be, and with it, the extraordinary is possible. You too can become energetically extraordinary should you choose to. We love you so much, Sarah, Nelson, Domain, God and Sali. Extraordinary humans doing extraordinary things. This is exactly what we are all about. Domain awaits. And then for those of you that have your copy of the book, you can see in the back there is a Domain beginner's workbook, and this is what we might be doing some exercises with over the coming weeks. So watch this space, more to come around those side of things, but hopefully you've enjoyed this read along, whether you've been watching live or on replay. And if you have any questions, let us know. Domain is here to be experienced. It's here to be delighted in. We always say delight in Domain. It just adds so much to your everyday living and just helps you feel really kind of intrinsic and connected to all things, just helps elevate your living, just helps gives you these incredible experiences when you connect to it and you're taken on these journeys with it, a myriad, and you're shown different things, whether it's different parts of the multiverse or down under the sea or deep within the earth. It's so magical, and it's just about loving it and feeling that Domain circle of love back, however you want to use it. And we always just say, start with you, because that will just be a beautiful place to start and feel the flows and delight that Domain can flow you. And then if you want to use it for other wider things in the future, like things like, you know, some of the examples we've spoken about in this book, like the broader causes, like malaria in Africa. That's always a possibility as well. But just start to, or continue to, explore and discover, stay light in your energies, and just enjoy. And let's just all keep delighting in Domain. And that's it, really. So we really hope you enjoyed this. More to come. Obviously on Friday we'll do our next episode of Domain TV, so look out for that. And just keep us posted on how you're going. So share if you're listening to this on replay or live. If you haven't done those exercises yet in the back of this book, do them that we've just read out loud, not the actual workbook section. Or you can, even if you've done the workbook section and you want to share below this video. Ask us any questions and we'll help you. And just keep enjoying. And you'll see us live again on Friday for Domain TV. And we can't wait to see you there. We love you so, so, so much. Keep delighting. Sending you each a huge hug. And see you all super, 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 super soon. Mwah. We love you.